Hey everyone, I'm just wanted to show you guys how to do step 2 of the sourdough bread making. I have my bowl of sourdough that's risen nicely. It actually kind of exploded over the edge of this pot pan I'm using, this bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and put some flour down, just a little bit. I'm gonna empty my bowl into this, and it's nice and poofed. It's got tons of air in this sucker, this ball of dough. And I'm just gonna simply, try to remove all this goodness out of here. And there we have our dough ball. You want to not handle this because you want to try to keep as much of the air pockets that it's created as possible. So I'm not pushing down. I'm just going to put a light layer of flour on this. Now, this really actually only made one loaf. I made one loaf last night. Typically, I make enough to make two, in which case I'd be cutting this in half, and then I would be working with two sets of dough. But today I'm just making one loaf. So I'm going to just fold this in like a letter. So what I do is I'm just kind of straightening this out a little bit to give it more of a kind of a squarish shape. And because it's going to go in this loaf pan. So this is the shape that it's going to be filling it up. And I kind of want to keep at least somewhat of that shape. So I'm going to fold this in by a third. So take the outside edge, bring it into a third, and then I'm taking this section on the outside, I'm folding it over, way over the top to the other edge. Then I'm going to flip it over. And this is just my technique. Everyone else has their own technique, but this is what I find to be working really well. And then I fold it in again, like a third with a letter, like I'm folding a letter. I fold it over again. And then I'm going to flip it over. And it's kind of got this squarish shape. I'm just going to kind of gently shape it so it'll be more like into this loaf pan. But I really like the rise that I got on that loaf, or the dough. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my basket and I'm going to flour this thing really well. So I start at the top edges and I just place my flour, and that is what I consider covered. And then I'm going to take my dough ball and I'm going to place it in there. And what I'm going to do is take this cellophane or this saran wrap that had oil on it that was covering my bowl overnight, and I'm going to place that on top. And that just keeps it so it's nice, and it'll stay a little bit warmer, and it'll keep anything off of it from getting on there. So I'm going to let this rise for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to put it in a 425 degree oven, and I'll show you that next step, and what I do with cutting of the bread and cooking it. Anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we're at the final stage of making bread. This is how my loaf is looking. It's awesome. It's really very active. And I'm just going to take that cover off. I'm going to put in some cornmeal on my pan. This is to keep it from sticking. So I'm going to just do a light coat of cornmeal dusting on my pan. I'm going to take this and I'm going to gently fold it out. Man, this has such a good rise on it. I'm really excited about this. And I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to cut into this like about so. It's probably about a 1/2 inch depth. And that's to, I wish my knife was a little sharper. Just to give it some opening. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to move my camera and show you what I'm doing over on my stove top. I have this pan of water that I have boiling, and I'm simply going to put that into my oven to give me some steam. Put that on the bottom. And then my lovely bread I'm going to put in right on top. And then close it up. I've got it cooking at 425, and I'm going to cook it for 30 minutes. And then we'll come back and see how yummy this is going to taste. Okay, everyone, the bread is done. It's about to come out of the oven, and I just wanted to show you the final product. So let me turn this off. Some mitts on. Oh yeah. So wonderful. That's my bread. Put it over here on the counter. And I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see the final product. That is a super high loaf, and it really opened up nice. Got a nice crusty covering on that bread. It's going to be so yummy. So that's a wrap today for sourdough bread baking, and I'm really glad you guys could watch along with me, and I hope this helps you with your own bread making, because it's so yummy, especially with the holidays coming up, and people just really want homemade bread. So anyway, from my family to yours, I wish you peace. Thank you so much. Bye.